Hi and welcome to tonight's webinar. And in this webinar, what I wanted to talk to you about was about building your brand effectively. Now, just a couple of quick things. It's a really short webinar. We're talking 20-25 minutes, maybe half an hour at the absolute max. And this webinar will be recorded and it will be going out live on YouTube and on Facebook and on my website. So if you do miss it, or if you've got somewhere else that you absolutely need to be, then that's fine. You can just go straight onto the website and you'll be able to download it and watch it whenever you like. So what I wanted to talk to you about then was business marketing domination, and specifically about branding, because branding, there's so much confusion about what branding actually is, and it sort of winds me up a little bit. Because I'll give you an example. We had a phone call. It's going back maybe 10 or 15 years, probably about 10 years. We had a phone call from Leeds United, and I got all excited because I thought they were going to ask me to play for the first team. Let's face it, you know, I could be like 70 years old and I'd probably still do better than they do right now. But anyway, that's not what they were phoning me up for. They were phoning me up because they wanted me to advertise my logo that was around the football pitch for my lettings agency that I had at the time. And I was like, why would I want to do that? And they're like, well, it's building brand, isn't it? And I'm like, building brand? What does that mean? Well, it's getting your name out there. And it's like, no, that's absolutely not what building brand is. There's no point in building brand. There's no point in building a logo if nobody actually wants to shop at your shop. You can have your logo everywhere. So let's give you a really good example, Gap, for example. Gap, like everybody knows about Gap and everyone's seen it and everybody knows it exists, and we see their branding almost everywhere, right? I don't shop there. I'll give you another one, C&A. Do you remember C&A from years ago? So I live in Spain here and they still have C&A. And I can't help but walk past the C&A and stop and do the man at C&A pose, you know, with his opening his jacket, pointing inside his jacket and putting his hand up to his forehead as though to look afar. Can't help but pull out those poses. And people look at you a bit weird, but I'm used to that by now. But like, I know about C&A and I see their brand here and I see advertisements, but I wouldn't shop there because their values don't match up to my values. And this is really what your branding should be. And we talk about that. We talk about brand values. And we talk about an organisation having brand values. And if that organisation's brand values are similar to yours, then there's a greater likelihood that you're going to shop there. If they're completely at opposite ends of a scale, you're never, ever, ever going to shop there. I'll give you another example. Do you remember United Colours of Benetton? Like, they had advertising 20 years ago that I still remember to this day that goes against. I'll give you two examples of the advertising. The first piece of advertising was a newborn baby. Nothing against babies, but this was just newborn. I mean, I'm talking like uncleaned, like newborn, right? I mean, you know, I've got 3 kids now, and I've been there for each one of them. So I know what a newborn baby looks like. And that was the advertising. It didn't appeal to me. Let's just put it that way. I'll give you an example of another one. And it was someone who had AIDS and was dying of AIDS and was very close to death. And I was like, why would you use that as your advertising? I've seen other ones on Facebook and people are using David Cameron, the leader of the Conservative Party and our current Prime Minister. And they're using that on an advert saying David Cameron now allows new mortgages. And it's just an advert for a mortgage company effectively. And it's like you should never use a politician in your branding, because straight away you're going to get rid of 60-70% of the people that you're trying to appeal to, because 60-70% of people will hate doesn't matter who it is, by the way. It could be Nigel Farage, it could be Tony Blair, it could be, I don't know, John Major, Margaret Thatcher. 70% of people will absolutely hate them. Why would you want to use that in your advertising? It just doesn't make any sense. So the brand values are being miscommunicated. Instead, why don't they put a picture of an everyday couple or an everyday starting family, you know, the type of people that they match their avatars to? An avatar being, you know, if you think about your customer, who is your customer? How old are they? What newspapers do they read? What car do they drive? Which sex are they? So I'll give you an example. I know, for example, that I think it's about 50% of my viewers on YouTube are aged between 25 and I think it's 45. I can't remember the exact dates, ages. It might be 35 to 55, I think. Well, I'm 43. I'm slap bang in the middle of that, and I'm also male, in case you've not noticed. So perhaps it's a natural thing for people who are similar to me to follow me, right? But that's probably also because I talk about me for sure, but I talk about my situation and my battle for kids and all of that sort of thing. And, you know, I think I'm a typical entrepreneur in so much as I can be typical. You know, I don't live in the UK and I live here in Spain, and I don't work, you know, 24 hours a day and whatever, right? So I've got some differences, but my general brand values are always about financial freedom, buying assets that generate cash, being able to create marketing plans that generate new customers and so on. And most people just get this wrong. And so what I wanted to do in tonight's webinar was I just wanted to show you about some of the extra things that you can do in your business right now. Literally, you put the phone on, and hopefully it's on silent now. You're not checking Facebook, you're not watching the telly. It's not long tonight, 20-30 minutes maximum, but you can pick up your phone immediately after this webinar and you can start branding yourself immediately. It takes hardly any time at all. So that's the plan for tonight's webinar. So just a little bit about me in terms of what I've done in terms of my branding. So we've just got over the 50,000 YouTube views, which I'm very proud of. Think about it, that's phenomenal, right? Even if, you know, say 5 years ago, that's still 10,000 people a year. That's almost 1,000 a month. And we've, you know, if you look at our stats have been increasing day on day on day, and because we're driving more people and more traffic to YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is, I just think it's phenomenal, right? Imagine having 50,000 people looking at your advert. That's phenomenal. So we've also had over, tens of thousands of podcast downloads, which again, is absolutely amazing. And we're also #1 on iTunes. The picture that you see there isn't the iTunes podcast. That's an online show that we're going to talk about a little bit later on for you. But the podcast, let me just see if I can pull it up for you. I'm a great believer in doing things live. So if you're not used to this type of webinar, then that's okay. You will get used to it. I'm a great believer in just showing you stuff as stuff pops into my head. So it does occur to me that I've not got a picture of the podcast, and I'd like you to see that. But if you think about that, 50,000 YouTube views, #1 on iTunes, it takes quite a bit of work in order to get yourself there. But there's loads of shortcuts that you can take. In fact, here's the website, the podcast. And look at that, we're up to number 37. We've got another one going out tomorrow, number 38. We've got an interview tomorrow. We've got another interview the following day. So we've got at least 3 more podcasts to go out live. And by the way, as soon as we install the podcast, people start downloading them. People start listening to them. We get thousands of downloads per podcast. It's amazing. All those people listening to your message. It's not cost me hardly anything to upload my podcast to iTunes. And you can subscribe on iTunes. If you just type my name on iTunes, I'll come up. And you can subscribe and you can listen to all of that content. Now think about this. This is one of the major places where we close clients from. Give you an example. We had one client, and I use this example all the time. It's such a great example. So he was, he's a plumber. He was looking on iTunes. It was a Saturday night. He was looking for stuff to do with property. Comes across my podcast. Downloaded a couple of my podcasts. Started listening to them. While he was listening, he was doing some research on me on Google. Found me on YouTube. He then watched a video of mine on YouTube, and it was a video called Dealing with Overwhelm, which will be on my website, and filled in the work with me form. We received his form Saturday night. We booked in a strategy call the next day, and the next day paid several £1,000s for coaching. So the timescale from finding me and signing up and paying thousands of pounds for coaching with me was less than 12 hours. So it was like 8 p.m. And then literally the Sunday morning was 8 a.m. and by 8:30 he'd agreed. By midday the money was in the bank account. Now if you want that type of solution, if you want that to cut down on the sales cycle, and I'll tell you why sales cycles can take so long, it's because people don't know who you are. They don't trust you. You know, if you go online and you find a website right now, let's just have a look for an accountants. Let's do accountants in Leeds, okay? I'll show you this in a second. So here we go. Accountants in Leeds. Let me just show you this as an example. Let me just increase the size of this so you can see. So we've got all these at the top. All these are paid adverts. That's fine. And then we've got these. And by the way, you notice these say closed now? I would say I was 24 hours on Google. Even if I'm not, for out of hours, I would put that through to a call answering service so that the call always gets answered. But let's just find an accountancy. Bartfield Accountants in Leeds. Well done, Bartfield. You're now famous for 5 minutes. Or maybe not, because we're just going to take a quick look at your website. So, like, it's up at the top. But look at the website. Like, I think this website was done in like 1993. Like, if you own Bartfields, my apologies. But seriously, guys, like, you need to get that website. Like, the very first thing about us, what does that tell you about them? It's not about you or about what we can do for you. I mean, our services. There's no call to action anywhere. Oh, there's a request our story. It's hidden. Look at that. And then when you request the story, there's no data capture. So let's just click on it. When I'm hovering over in the bottom left-hand side, look at that. I got a press release. I get a press release when I request our story. That should be an opt-in form. Like, seriously, guys, it's shocking. What a shocking website. Now, the other problem with this website is it even current? Have they built any trust? There's zero trust built there. You know, we've got the watch our free video. Like, instead of watch our free video, that video, let me just show you, take you to one of our shows. That video should be there and live. Different show I need. Let's just find it. I'm just going to show you exactly what that should look like. And I'll show you this because I want you to learn from this. I want you to understand about how, when a person lands on your website, exactly what it is that they should be looking for. Let's do this one. So this is an online virtual TV show that I have on my website. It's called the Mindset and Hustle Show. Let's show you what it is here. One of them's playing somewhere. Why is it playing? Oh, it's there. Right, let me just get rid of this. That's it. Okay. So right here, the Mindset and Hustle Show, there it is, right there. It's a 32-minute video. And we've got other videos down here. And what's going to happen? So we've got some really cool, funky looking pictures. And what's going to happen is you click on one and it takes you to the page and it loads up. You press play and there we go. Look how professional that looks. Now compare that with this one. That's shocking, right? Absolutely shocking. But when was this website even done last? Like, I've got no idea if that company might have gone out of business for all I know. There's no latest content on there. We don't know if they're alive or dead or they've gone bust. We have no idea, okay? So you definitely don't want that. But that's what they're branding. That's their message that they're sending out as soon as you're landing on their website. Now, by the way, I've closed it down now, but it should be taking you to an opt-in page so that they can get your details and find out a little bit more information about you. It's exactly what should be happening. Then they build up a mailing list and send out important information. So that's really what branding in your business is. And so forget what all these other schmucks are doing. They're all doing it wrong, for God's sake. Like, they'll have spent thousands of pounds on that website as well. It's all completely wrong. Get yourself a podcast. Get yourself a video channel. It costs you absolutely nothing at all. You don't even need to upload to iTunes. You can upload it to SoundCloud. It won't cost you a penny. So this is the key right here, is you've got to get content out. And we're talking video, audio, and PDFs. PDFs is like when you do a Word document and then you convert it to a PDF. And the beauty here is that it's all completely free. It doesn't cost you anything to create a video. You've already got the mobile phone that will create a video, right? The audio, like I'm recording this using my PC, GoToWebinar, and a microphone, right? The microphone's like £8 on eBay. The PC, you can buy a second-hand one for 100 quid, but most people have access to a device for recording of some way. And then a PDF, you can use the same thing. You can download an equivalent to Microsoft Publisher. It won't cost you anything to help you create the PDF. So all that stuff costs you nothing to do. So if you're sat at home and you're desperate for more business, the question is, what have you done in terms of marketing to go out there and get more business? Because if you've not done anything, well, you ain't going to get any new business. It's really obvious. It's so obvious, right? It's ridiculous. So this is what we do. So for example, we're doing Facebook Live right now, and Facebook Live is obviously on Facebook, and there's other ones you can use, like this Periscope, which is on Twitter, there's Blab, and there's all sorts of different ones that you can use, okay? But we use Facebook Live, and so what we do is, so for example, today we had a 32-minute video, Facebook Live, talking about whatever we were talking about today, and then we take that Facebook Live video and we upload it to YouTube. So then what happens is that when someone's searching for whatever it is they're searching for, they'll perhaps accidentally come across our video. Or maybe they're searching on Google and our video's keyword optimized, which we do. And sometimes we get lucky and it gets on page 1, people click on it. And then they're watching what we do, and then they might want to watch more videos, or they might want to download the podcast. But we take that YouTube video and then we upload it to our online virtual show. And the example here is the one that you've just seen. So if I go back to the Mindset and Hustle show, right here you've got the power of discipline. This one, make this one change and easily drink 3 litres of water per day. Like that graphic right there looks very professional, but I actually created it using 2 tools. One of them is a stock image, and then the other one, a stock image website, and then the other one is Canva, which helps me put the text on. I found the arrow, which looks like a play button, because that's exactly what it is. So people click on it. When we check the heat maps, which we've got, we can later on see where people are clicking. I guarantee they're clicking on the arrow. So right here, for Mindset and Hustle show, make this one change and needs to drink 3 litres of water. This is a brand new page, which is optimized. Not a huge amount of text on there, which probably could do with some. We've got some extra stuff to come on this page, but we'll do that later. But right here, so, and it's me in the kitchen on a video about water. It's only 3 minutes long. But we're talking about an easy way to drink. I mean, we're drinking 3 litres of water per day now, which is really hard work, by the way, but very healthy for you. You soon start losing weight when you start drinking 3 litres of water, because you no longer want to snack on things because you fill up, right? Because you're full of water. So this works really well. And so we can repurpose some of our YouTube videos, and which is what exactly this is. This video here was done, I don't know, in December, 6 months ago. And yet, it's now starting to get fresh views because we've got it on a channel. Let me close that down. Okay, so what we do is create a video on Facebook Live. We then upload it to YouTube. We then take that YouTube and we embed it on our webpage. And then what we do when it's embedded on our webpage is we'll send that out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Facebook in the groups, on my own personal Facebook page. We'll put it up to Tumblr. We'll stick it on Instagram. We'll put it on Pinterest. And then what happens? Drives traffic back to the website. People either like the Facebook page or they'll sign up and download the podcast. Which leads me on to the next phase, which is we'll take that Facebook Live video and we'll repurpose that content. We'll take the audio out of that Facebook Live and then we'll stick that on a podcast. Which is amazing, right? We've only done the video once, but not only we've got a YouTube video out of that, we've also now got a podcast. And then that podcast, guess where that goes? That goes up to iTunes. People find us again. I think that's very clever. I hope you do too. The problem that most people get is they've got no idea on how to do this. And by the way, if you've got no idea on how to do this, let me ask you a question. If you were to spend $2.5 grand, but you double or triple the amount of leads that you were getting into your business, would that be worthwhile? Depends on what your margin is, right? But for most people it would. Bear in mind, you only have to spend that for once. So we've got like a 2-day training. We show you how to do all this over a villa in Spain. It's freaking awesome, right? Imagine going to a villa, which is, it's 29 degrees this weekend. It's beautiful. We're only in May. Creating Facebook Live videos, then uploading those videos to YouTube, then creating your own virtual show, and then sticking them on a podcast, and then going out to iTunes. And that's only half of what we do. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff that we do on that in order to get extra views and build credibility and all that extra stuff that we talked about right at the start. But imagine being able to do that. It's easily worth $2.5 grand because the results that you're going to get, the amount of credibility that you get, like we're getting people, we got one today actually, a very well-known guy. He's from the States. He does direct mail. He's a very, very wealthy guy. And he messaged me on Facebook to ask if he could be on my podcast show, wanted to be a guest. And I was like, dude, you're more than welcome. What do you want to talk about? That's awesome. That's what creating the podcast and the YouTube videos and the Facebook Live, that's exactly what it'll do for you. And bear in mind, right, that I sound like this, and you may not know what I look like, but you will do if you go on my Facebook page, and I look like that. I'm not exactly Brad Pitt myself, so it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what you sound like. And there's some things that you can do, like I saw someone on a Facebook Live today, and she was obviously doing it on her laptop, right? Now, the problem with working on laptops, I prefer working on a desktop, but the problem with a laptop is what happens is you bent over the desk and the screen is on like a 45-degree angle, and then you're pulling your screen up so the camera can point right up your nostril. And that's what people do. Double chin, nostrils. That's crazy. Why would you do that? So there's loads of things that you should be doing and loads of things that you shouldn't be doing in order to build that credibility. Now, her content might have been amazing, right? But I couldn't get over the fact I was looking up her nostrils and the double chin, right? I mean, you know, we're all different shapes and sizes, but there's certain things you should be doing to make yourself more appealing, right? And this isn't like a overweight issue or anything like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 20 stone. I've seen people who are running weight loss and who are on the journey of losing weight, and they're doing Facebook Live and they're killing it, absolutely killing it. And it's because they're doing it in the right way and they're building the credibility. Imagine having a really bad photograph of yourself and you use that as your Facebook profile. Why would you do that? Surely you'd want to just get a great photograph and put that one on, because then people, you know, people want to meet you that way. So this is what the content creation will help you do. So this is the one of the shows. We've got 2 other shows at the moment. One of them is what this webinar is about, which is Business and Marketing Domination. And that show is coming live in the next couple of days. And then the other one is the Property Cash Flow show. Guess what that show is about? And literally, it's all my YouTube videos, and we've repurposed them. And now, whenever I do a Facebook Live show, that goes into the property show. And if I'm doing one about mindset or hustle, then it'll go into this one. And that's exactly how it should be. So we created like 3 virtual programs. 3 virtual online TV shows. That's amazing, right? And people sitting and watching them, and then they'll watch one and they'll click and they'll go on to the next one. And all the time we're doing that, we're building credibility. And then we're going, I wouldn't mind watching this a bit more, but I can't because I'm about to jump in a car. I know, let me go and download the podcast. And then they can take me with them in the car, out on a run, out on a tube, waiting for the kids from nursery, whatever, right? That's how it works, and that's how you're going to start building credibility in your business. I was at a networking event with maybe 70, 80 people at this room, and their biggest number one problem, most of the small businesses, up to 50 people employed within a business, right? And most of the problems that people had were, I don't know how to find customers. And it's obvious. Facebook Live, get yourself a podcast, upload it to YouTube, create your own TV show, start adding lots and lots of value, get your content out there, get as much content as you can. It's got to be good content, obviously. Stuff that's going to help people, like this, for example. People are watching this right now and going, God, it's amazing. Why can't I do that? And you can. Once you get over the technical barriers that are going to stop you doing it. And we can accelerate those results by doing the 2-day media creation training. It's really easy, and you actually walk away from that training with your online TV show, all your graphics done, your own podcast, your application for iTunes completed. It takes a little bit of time for that to come back, but that's amazing, right? Imagine going out there and getting yourself on iTunes and on YouTube and people sitting and watching your own TV show. And it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how old you are, you just got to create the content, because your customers right now have got problems. That's why you're in business. You're in business to help solve that problem. If I'm hungry and I walk past a Greggs can solve that problem, right? Greggs are in the business of solving my food problem. I need food. Now, if you're a plumber, you're in the business of fixing leaky pipes or installing boilers, whatever. People need that. And at the point in time where that person needs that, and they've seen one of your videos or listened to a podcast, who are they going to use? Are they going to use someone out of the Yellow Pages, which no longer exists, by the way, like pocket size? Or are they going to use someone who's just typed on Google and got a paid advert on there and a website from 1993 like that accountancy firm, Sawyer Bartfields? I might sort of drop you a line, just let you know that we use your crappy website as an example of how not to have a crappy website. But who are you going to use? Are you going to use those people, or are you going to use the one who's got their own TV show on YouTube and on their own website and their own podcast and their own iTunes? You know, who are we going to use? It's obvious, right? Because you've already built the credibility. And this is why people are not closing business, because you've got zero credibility in the marketplace. Zero credibility. And most people are sat there and they're going, well, I'm going to write an article this week. And it takes them all week to write like 300-word article on the word because it's not perfect. It doesn't matter if it's perfect, right? It doesn't matter if it's perfect. You've got to start fishing where the fish are. Not everybody wants to read articles online. Not everybody wants that. Some people want the PDF that they can print out. Some people want to download it to the mobile device and listen to it. And some people want to sit Like we watch, for the young one, she's 18 months now, and we've got the Xbox 360, and we've got YouTube set up on it, and guess what we watch? Pokio, or Pocoyo, however you want to pronounce it. It's a TV program for kids. Now, some people would much rather watch YouTube through the Xbox or through their main TV than going on a mobile device or a podcast device or reading a PDF. But that's not for you to dictate how they can consume your information. You should be making your information available on audio, PDF, and in video, and let them determine how they want to consume that information. But that information will be consumed, and if you're not providing it, your competitors will be. There was a time when it used to be that everybody needed a website. Now you should have your own YouTube channel, your own virtual TV program, your own podcast show, because nobody else is doing this stuff. You want to stand out from the crowd, then this is definitely the way to do it. So the next thing, now that you're sort of thinking, yeah, maybe I could do this. So the next thing then is you need to set up a media calendar. So you just need to work out what are you going to do every day. So you could do a Facebook Live event once a day. So we've got 3 different shows, and so the idea really is being sort of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll do one show. So one will be a mindset and hustle, usually on a Monday, depends if I'm traveling or not. The Wednesday one will be like property related, the property cash flow show. And then the third one will be the business and marketing domination online show. And so we're going to do them 3 times a week. And that's good enough for us. But we also podcast and create podcasts 2 or 3 times a week as well. Now, interestingly, the Facebook Live stuff, as we've already said on a previous slide, the Facebook Live stuff, as well as creating the YouTube posts and so on, we will actually create a podcast from that. So what that means is that we might be doing Facebook Live 3 times a week. So we've already got 3 podcasts a week, and we're going to do another 1 or 2 on top of that, so that we're providing content that you can't get on my website in terms of, or YouTube. You can't get that content unless you download it and listen to the podcast, right? And that's one of the reasons why we do it that way. And then the other thing is that we're going to be doing an article a day. It's probably a bit overkill for us, but maybe 1 or 2 a week will be fine for us. Really good quality articles, the stuff that you see in Entrepreneur Magazine or Inc. or whatever. But this is for you. This is like a menu, right? So just, if you're going to do Facebook Live once a week, a podcast once a week, and an article once a week, that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. So Facebook Live takes maybe 30 minutes. To actually get it uploaded to YouTube takes like 5 or 10 minutes. And to create your graphics and so on, another 5 or 10 minutes. Your podcast might take like 30 to 40 minutes to record. You might need to do a little bit of editing. Your article, less than an hour. So if you did one of those, just one of those once a day, it takes literally an hour to 1.5 hours a day. Like, think about that. If you're going to double or triple the amount of leads that you're getting into your business, is it not worth doing that? Of course it is. It makes perfect sense to do it that way. So this is the result. You're going to get tons of leads. And your credibility is just going to go through the roof. And you're going to start getting podcast requests from people you don't even know, people who listen to you. We got one tonight. In fact, we got one tonight from someone who's been listening to the podcast for a couple of weeks. And they've now decided, enough's enough. I'm fed up of sitting on my ass. I need to go get some coaching. I need some help. Right? And that's what we're going to do. We've got a strategy call tomorrow. We're going to talk. Hopefully we'll sign up for coaching. And we can go and help him design the life of his dreams. That's what he's coming for, right? That's what the coaching is designed to do. Help you grow your business, help you invest in income generating assets, and get you towards financial freedom. That's the whole point of doing it. But all that's come from the power of the podcasts. And then the other guy who's messaged me today saying, dude, I'd like to be on your podcast. I'm like, dude, that's fine. So Friday morning, that's lined up. We've got another guy who I sent a request out to because he does franchising and helps people franchise their business. So we've got a podcast on that. Do you think that the fact that we're on iTunes might have helped as with credibility to get that guy to say, yeah, I'll do your podcast? Of course it does. He jumps on the website, looks at all the TV shows that virtual TV shows that we've got. He looks at the YouTube numbers and is like, I want a piece of that. So it just builds the expert credibility for you. And that's exactly what you want. So look, if you want help, we're not here to sell you anything, but if you do want help, you go to danielatto.co.uk/start. There's a couple of things that we can do here. One is a 90-day quick start program. It's literally 90 days of coaching. That doesn't mean 90 sessions. It just takes place over 90 days. But it'll tell you more on the website. And then if you actually want to become an authority and build credibility, then you can just go onto my website and go and take a look at the Work With Me page, which I'll find for you now. Let's just pull that up. So you can go onto a website, and by the way, you should go on the website because there's a ton of information on there. Let's just have a look. I don't know what's going on with my website tonight. It looks like we're on the mobile site for some reason. Let me just open up Firefox and we'll do it on there. So if you want help, you can go to the Quick Start program, 90 days of coaching, daniellatto.co.uk/start, or this is my website. Up here it says Work With Me. Just fill in the form that's on Work With Me, and that will get you there. If you want to look at the shows, there's the podcast, the property cash flow show. For some reason it's coming up as a mobile site. I'm not quite sure why that is yet. But look at that. They're all on there. And that's pretty much us done for tonight. I hope that's useful for you. Why is it all gone blue? That's it. So I hope that's useful for you. We're in the market of dominating whatever it is that we do. So it doesn't matter if you're a butcher or if you're a pound shop owner, if you, if you're on, I found a podcast earlier today on knitting, a podcast on knitting. Like, who would listen to a podcast on knitting? But if you've got a knitting shop and you want to go online and sell mail order, what an awesome way of doing it. And imagine getting a new piece of wool into your knitting shop, right? And doing a video and showing people about some of the different knitting patterns that they can purchase online to make a jumper for your dog that makes him look like Batman. I don't know. Lots of different things that you could put onto podcasts and YouTube videos and that sort of thing. And this is what it's about, is dominating your marketplace. Okay, if you need anything from me, just drop me a message. Other than that, thank you for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.